Hey, hello friends, hello everyone, hello people. Welcome to video 6 of our conversation on the wheel of life or the wheel of wholeness. And we've talked about healing, we've talked about praise, we've talked about love, we've talked about joy, we've talked about thanksgiving, and today we're going to be talking about giving. How does giving makes us more closer to God? And the definition of giving talked about that giving, it's about providing love and other emotional support to other. That is the definition of giving. And so here, no, it did not even talk about material things. It said providing love and other emotional support or care for people. I know we've talked about joy. How do you give? So one of the way for us to draw more closer to God, for us to live a life of wholeness with Him, to begin to commune with Him more and become really the people after His own heart, is for us to begin to understand how do we begin to even those things that you are healing. How do you also share healing to others? How do you also teach others to give praise? You can cultivate the life of praise that people around you will see it and they'll begin to praise. How do you give joy? How do you give thanks? Even in the midst of everything that you're going through. But also one of the things we need to understand here is not just about just giving material possession, because it's part of it. You have to give. But again, the scripture talked about that you have to learn to give non-grudgingly. You have to learn to give not complaining. And that's why when the Bible talks about when you give, your right hand gives, the left hand, that you need to come to a place that when you give, you don't remember it. Sometimes when people are beginning to appreciate you, begin to think, oh, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? We form a society that most times, I say most society, when you give, you get tax rebate. That is fine. That is way it's okay, you're giving, but the giving the Lord is talking about is not that. You need to come to Christ gave, does not look out for what we give Him back in return. And so our giving comes from a point of gratitude and joy. We don't give because we want something from God. People are made giving, and that's why I think the issue of tithe and other things has become controversial to a lot of people, because a lot of the way people ask, I give tithe, by the way, because I know it's important for us as believers to give, and we also give not because God needs it. God does not need my money. He does not need anything from me. God can do His work. You'll be surprised He can fund His project in another way, but you come to a point that you understand that we give sacrificially. We give from a point of that we are in gratitude. Remember, that's what we call thanksgiving. We give because we understand joy. We give because we understand love. We give because we understand who God is. And out of the abundance, the Bible says He gave us His Son without thinking. He said, He that gave us His Son willingly, then what else can He not give us? So do we think He's our type? But some people, live in a mindset. Trust me, a lot of us that give, a lot of us that still give our offerings, our tithe, our other giving that we give to people, do it because we want something in return. Just like in some other religions, some other parlance, you believe that, yes, once you're good outweigh your bad in terms of giving, you'll be forgiving your sins and other things. Life does not work that way. And you see a lot of people give not because they love. And so coming into this wholeness, what the Lord is saying is, you must begin to give from a point that you understand that divine principle. You understand that divine mandate that you are giving, not because you're looking for anything in return. But it will come. It will come to you, but you need to know within your heart, are you giving from a place of gratitude? Are you giving from a place of love and care? So, and no, it was many years ago, the Lord was teaching me something. I belonged to a lot of group. I was like a very active member of the Red Cross. I even gave after high school, I gave like 4 years to volunteer without going to college. And that was how I was passionate about the work of giving myself and all of that. And so one day at the place of devotion, I can remember maybe it's 2007 or I think there about 2007, the Lord asked me, who is authorizing this charity that you're doing? It was a big question that I pondered on. And so for us to come into wholeness with God, we must begin to ask who is authorizing the charity, the giving that we give. Because we must understand that we are stewards of God's resources. And so once we understand that we're stewards of God's resources, we give only to those things He supports. We give to those things that honors Him. And we give sacrificially. We give in gratitude. We give in love. Trust me, you can be as rich as whoever is the richest man in the world now. You give everything. You give charity every year. You give billions of dollars to all of the work going on. But in heaven's mind, it might not be given. Because I know I had the privilege of working in the space of philanthropism, or just working, also interacting with a lot of people that work within the space and all of that. And one of the things I noticed is that a lot of people give sometimes because they wanted to satisfy their conscience. They've exploited people all over the world. Their families had heritage of maltreating people. Either you go back to the US or the America, you see a lot of family that made money from slave trade or from using free labor. People work with them in a gold mine and all of that. They made huge money. So some of them they're giving as a point of restitution, which is great, which is good. But again, for some, the giving does not bring them close because you have not started the process of healing. You have not started healing to really understand that yes, it's good you're giving, it's good you're paying penance and you're trying to come. But before then, have you given your own life to the Maker? And so once you give from that point, then you begin to have a different view of giving. Giving no longer feels like burden. You no longer count it that, oh yeah, I'm giving, I have it and all of that. You speak arrogantly. You see a lot of people because they think they have that material possession. They give. And that's why if you've seen a lot of kids, sometimes the parents give them everything they want, buy them everything. But the kids still turn out bad. The kids still complain, you were not there, you didn't give me. And so for most of us as parents, as they say, for me generally, I'm a giver. I love giving people gifts. I give gifts a lot, and both to my own, my sibling, my family, my children, my wife. But there's a time when a period when my wife keeps saying, "Oh, I still notice it begins to come to me. Is she not appreciating the giving I'm giving?" But I understood what she was saying. She needed me first. Am I giving myself to her? Am I giving my time? Am I giving my attention when she's sharing things? Do we have time to have deeper conversation? And so then you not begin to complain. Some people say, I give to church, I give, but no, they don't even recognize me. You want to come to a point that you begin to give and you're not expecting recognition in return. That is when you have started giving, the giving that God is talking about. You give, you don't expect the person that you give to say thank you to you, or to appreciate you, or to just to acknowledge you. If they do, it's good. It motivates you. But what the Lord is saying, for us to come into wholeness, then you must learn to give without remembering. You must learn to give because you're showing gratitude, you're showing appreciation, and you're giving in joy. Even sometimes when you give, it looks as if people are using you. But you keep still pushing. And so I asked you the question the Lord asked me many years ago: who's authorizing your giving? And like I said, giving is not only about money or material things. Like when I started, I talked about care, I talked about emotion. Where are you giving your cares to? Who are you giving your emotion? When the Bible was challenging, young men, do not give your strength to women. Do not give your strength to a prostitute. So giving, you give different things. You give your time, your emotion. Do not give all your life alone to movies. Do not give all your life alone to things that does not profit. Fantasies. So who can live in the world of fantasy, read a lot of fantasy book and just live there? It's creating this myopia, this euphoria in their mind, this kind of world that does not exist, utopia. And the truth of the matter is that the physical people you live with, your wife, your children, your husband, you've not created time to bond with them. And that's the giving the Lord was saying. And so when the Lord began to teach me deeply, and when I walked in that field of philanthropism, I saw a lot of philanthropic people. They don't give because they love you. They don't give because they care about you. They give just to feel in charge. Some people giving to them is about power, to feel the upper hand. Some people thrive every day. They work so hard to be the richest man in the world, to be the ones that give. And it's not because they care. It's just to be that they're in charge, to leave a place for their family, for their children, to be the one that controls the world. And so if you give because you want to control other people, that is not the kingdom giving. You will never know God. You will never experience Him. When I see, like in most countries, like for example, I know a bit of the United States, one of the way that a lot of charity and foundation you see that's doing great work, we are praising them all over the world. A lot of them is just 5% of the money, because the Charity Act in the US gives permission that every money the foundation has, they must spend a minimum of 5% of it annually. And some people, to preserve money for their children and generation, they created foundations. And that's why we have a lot of these NGOs and different things. And what they are giving, the law says minimum of 5%. A lot of them have settled in the minimum. They don't go beyond the 5%. And that's why they give. You say, oh, you praise them, but they're only giving 5% of everything they have. But again, we need to, a word of caution here. Do you want to start claiming entitlement to other people's resources? No. You are not entitled to it. They give out because they understand the maker. And so I conclude what the Lord was teaching at that point in our giving is that we must understand the principle of stewardship. That it is not you are not the owner. You're only in steward. Yes, you work hard. Yes, you claim we all work hard, we do all of those things, but trust me, there are people that work harder than us that do not have the things we have. There are people that are more intelligent than us that do not have access to the things that we have. And so once you understand that you are in law, you are keeping in surety for the owner, which is God, then you begin to become better stewards of God's resources. You begin to ask him, God, where do we need to put these resources? And like I'm speaking to you now, I'm speaking to myself. We will charge ourselves in 2024 to begin to give to only where God will give, to support the project that God will support. And you begin to ask yourself, everything you're doing, every action. And remember, when I talk about giving again, I'm reminding us, I'm not talking only about money. I'm talking about your time, your emotion, your intellect, your care. Do you give only to those that will give you back? Do you say, oh, society is so bad now, I won't help, I won't give? No. Because healing, when you praise, when you live in thanksgiving, when you live in joy, when you live in love, then you can easily give. God bless you.